There's no denying things are tough here in the UK. The Conservatives are trying their best to ruin everything. Food costs more than ever, and no one can afford to keep the heating on. The solution to this, we've found, is to put various hot sauces in our faces until all of this fades into a spicy cadence.
Seriously though, hot sauce could very well be the solution. For one, it'll make you feel warmer both inside and out, make your brain go to mush so you can't possibly comprehend politics, and on some level it's a cheap form of sustenance. Especially the ones that we'll be sampling, because Reg got them from Reminisce as a present about 2 years ago. We'll probably be okay.
Without further waffle, let's get on with the show.
We haven't even started yet, Ross. We haven't even started.
Okay, we lied. There is much more waffle.
No, we did. 3, 2, 1. There we go.
I thought we can give ourselves applause.
Oh, that's starting to curdle already. Where's the fork?
I've tried to stir it twice.
Oh, this is literally going to be the worst fucking one. Oh, what did I do? Welcome to another episode of RegRett put themselves through mild discomfort for somebody's entertainment. I'm Reg.
I'm Rett.
And you're about to watch something that is probably going to go disastrously wrong very, very quickly, because it involves hot sauces and alcohol. What alcohol are we using? We are using
the cheapest vodka Reg could find in Sainsbury's this morning.
It literally is just called vodka, pure and smooth. Now, you can see we're wearing professional setup. See, I've got a nice microphone here, and
I've got a microphone that's connected to my zipper and is around my head. It looks professional.
We couldn't get his to work. We're using, well, you don't need to know. It's movie magic. That's how we're doing it. Now, as you can see,
magic and a lot of swearing and cursing and thumping.
Warning, there's going to be a lot of swearing, cursing and thumping in this episode. So, as you can see before us, there are six sauces, and they're of the hot variety. How hot are they, Ross?
We haven't really got a fucking clue yet. We've tried to arrange it in such an order that it goes from mildest to hottest. We based it basically on the design of the labels and the names. We thought Blaze would be the weakest.
Yeah, like Kaboom is the hottest.
Yeah. So Kaboom being the final one.
Sounds like the worst one.
Yeah.
Now, to put a bit of a spin on it, we're not just going to do these shots. With each one, we have a story to tell, a spicy memory, if you will. Originally, I thought there were only 5 sauces in this box of sauces that Rettis got me for Christmas, but there's 6, obviously. We've only got 5 rounds, so we added a round 0, the pre-game shot, which I believe is that one. It's fucking disgusting.
I've stirred it 2 or 3 times.
Okay, I'm trying to think. If this makes me sick, we've got a bin.
Not worried. Just have it in the middle.
Chin chin, let the games begin.
Oh god. Oh, it's salty as hell.
Ah! Okay, verdict. That's just really salty. There's not really a lot of spice to that one at all.
That's the most mild one.
Okay.
Okay.
And now on to the show itself.
Round 1, first round. I bought myself a fucking proper notepad. Look at that.
So professional.
Professional, not.
I am so...
Mild spice. Anything slight, faux pas to embarrassing fails. Thing is, mine would embarrass most people, but I was born with a distinct lack of shame, so I feel more pride than embarrassment, but you know, it's still a memory that I like to share very much, because well, it was funny. So, what year would it have been?
What year?
Mid-2000s.
Right.
So, we were camping out in my friend Tom's field. A friend of mine who had a big old field and a barn. In this particular case, what were we drinking? I don't know what we were drinking. Various beers and
Foster's.
spirits.
It was Foster's.
Was it Foster's?
And then something called Taboo, which is a disgusting vodka.
It was 2 AM, 3 AM. I suddenly woke up in the tent. I think I slept in between both of you guys. So at least I had the sense not to vomit to my side, because one of you poor wankers would have been faced with that. To my credit, I sat up. It was dark, of course. I tried to get to the zipper to open the tent. I tried, but I was not successful. The resulting chunder, it wasn't going to wait for me to get to my senses. It had to come out, and it did, all over the tent. I think you two were woken up by the torrential downpour.
It sounded like a splattering, I would say.
Bemoaned my incompetence, but eventually you got back to sleep, despite the smell.
You haven't thought of the smell, you bitch!
It was, in retrospect, terrible.
We woke up in the morning, we saw the vomit in front of us, but there was a victim, as it turns out. Not a human living being or anything. Probably worse, it was Tom's venue at the time guitar. So yeah, did Tom have it face up or face down?
He had it face down because...
Probably better, yeah, a lot better.
There's an access panel in the back which you put the strings through,
Oh, I accessed it all.
Yeah, you
With my
did.
chunder.
Oh,
So yeah, the back of Tom's guitar was coated. Luckily, we didn't really need to clean it because Tom's dog, named Jess, she was a very happy-go-lucky dog. She'll eat anything, she'll lick anything, which kind of solved the problem for us. So my friend Tom's dog happily licked up my sick. No harm done.
Mine does not involve vomit. Mine goes back a little bit further to the turn of the century, I believe. It was at school. And my older brother, I looked up to him. He was a mentor and he helped me out at school. But not in this instance, because, dear viewers, we had just watched the film Patch Adams, and in one scene, he's talking to a skeleton and he goes,
I got a boner. I am a boner.
I went to my brother, my dear brother, what does boner mean? Naive as I was. And he went, oh, that means when you receive like an atomic wedgie and it goes so far up your back it like hits the tailbone. I was like, oh, right, that's cool. And then thinking, oh, I can show this new word off to some new friends that I made at school. Full of confidence, I marched up to these friends and went, guess what? My brother gave me a boner the other day and it really hurt. And the looks on their faces suggested that I had made a huge faux pas. Between giggles, they explained exactly what the word boner really meant, to which point I wanted the world to open up and swallow me whole. I marched up to my brother and harshly reprimanded him for his misinformation. I did not listen to his advice involving words anymore. Now that was our first spicy memory, and with that,
Alright then, more salt. Oh Christ, that was blobby.
Oh, that hit the back of my throat.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot spicier than that one. That was salty. That one was...
It was less salty at least than the first one.
Round 2!
Ooh.
This is something a little bit spicy, a little bit sticks in your craw a little bit more, like, oh no, what have I done? Now this one actually involves you, Rettis. After a rather mixed evening at Homeland's Music Centre in Kingsnorth in Kent, it's in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, but it's the only thing us greasy grebos could go to. Oh, it's actually getting quite hard to talk. So we found ourselves stranded for reasons I won't go into. So we decided to just walk back to the nearest town, which was Tenterden. We tried to thumb a lift on the way, but Kel's surprise, no one was going to stop at that time of night to two greasy teenagers stumbling down the road in the pitch black. So after a while, we were getting quite tired. The clouds had covered up the moon, so we were walking in pretty much pitch black at this point. And we were just walking along in silence, and then all of a sudden, I heard this almighty and me and Ross kind of just ran into each other and sort of awkwardly sort of like embraced in a sort of Laurel and Hardy-esque. And then as our eyes adjusted and our adrenaline levels went back down again, the source of our fear, what was it? Was it a goblin? Was it a ghoul? No, what was it, Ross?
The source was a horse.
Outrageous. We got terrified by a horse. Oh, fucking hell. I think that was the peak of our fear in our journey. It actually gave us a second wind. There were other things that happened, like we took a massive detour to Woodchurch. Ross got a stone in his shoe and had to stop, and there's loads of other stuff that happened. We slept rough at the end of our journey, and we woke up to Gavin, which I'll leave that out there and let you figure that out. It's actually, I think it's on our podcast. We talk about that in more detail, but I remember feeling so embarrassed afterwards of just getting scared of a horse. I think that's pretty much why I brought that one along. What about you?
So then, this one, it involves almost urination. This took place in, I believe it was early 2007, one of my visits to Kent. So we'd spent the evening in, is it the Eight Bells?
Yeah.
The Tenterden Bells pub. But this took place afterwards. We decided to leave, one of your faux pas actually. I think you knocked over a whole pint in someone's
handbag.
purse, so we thought, now is a good time to leave. We were both quite drunk. I had to go for a piss. Did I go to a hedge behind a phone box? No. I thought, let's just go to a random fucking house and open up the letterbox and piss through some poor person's letterbox. So yeah, that's what I tried to do. Obviously, weren't as stealthy as I thought we were, because I had it out, ready to drain myself. The door opened. This guy just opened the door.
I'll never forget the look at his
What the
face.
hell are you doing? Gave you like, I'd lightly shove your back on my chest.
As you
It's
would.
fair enough. The excuse I made, he couldn't have seriously bought it in a million years, because my fly was open, my belt was unbuckled. Our lie was that I dropped a £5 note by his front door, and I'm just looking for it, and the zipper on my jeans is defunct or something, so that's why my groin's on show.
I like how polite you were, though. You were like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is incredibly embarrassing, but he had an excuse for everything. As soon as the door opened and you got shoved, you immediately ran to the right and was like, oh, where is it, where is it? And like, I've never seen such fast acting in this young
Fast
man.
thinking. It may have saved me from further troubles. He bought the lie, or rather pretended to. I think in the end, he actually had to shake my hand.
Which was funny, because it was
Which
the
is a bit
same
weird,
hand.
'cause That was touching. Well, you know,
Touching the tackle.
it could have been a lot worse. My unusually quick thinking may have saved me from any sort of misdemeanor. And on our way, actually a bit of a bonus post story to this, because I don't know if it was that night, it might be a different night of that weekend, but you had trundled over Tom's sofa. You were kind of like passed out in like this position, the recovery position. We plonked your, the old trick where you put someone's hand in the warm water, they'll piss themselves. Yeah. We tried that on you. It didn't work, so I chucked some water on your groin to give it that effect. That was the night, just spilled alcohol, almost pissing through a letterbox and vomiting. A very fluid evening.
It was indeed. And speaking of fluid, let's do our second shot, or third shot, isn't it?
Third shot.
Oh,
that's salty.
that wasn't as spicy as that one. Hold on, is it building? Right, so let's go on to the next story and the next level, which is...
Round 3. Too spicy for some. Another drunk night.
Surprise, surprise!
It's like the other two. It was December 2004. I was 16 years old. It was kind of like the last week of school before we broke up for Christmas. It was one of the most drunken nights of my life. The main players in this night, it was me and you, Tom yet again, because his barn was where all the fun drunk nights took place.
Tommy Daddy!
Dan Jerome was there. Greg something.
Greg.
Yes, he was probably there. You probably bought it for me, the half whiskey bottle.
It was one of those, as I call, hobo whiskey bottles. One man serving of whiskey, let's say.
Yeah. I got a funny hat from somewhere as well. Can't remember where.
Barn.
You, Jeremy and Tom walked into town and just thought you'd leave me there. So what can happen in his barn?
On
With
your
a
own.
bottle of whiskey to myself. So I sat in his tractor, just sipping whiskey to myself, having quite a peaceful time, waiting for these guys to get back. You came back, more drinking ensued. Went back out into Tenton again.
Yeah, that was our second beer run, because we came back and you were absolutely shit-faced because you drank the entire bottle.
Yeah, and the second go to Tenton, when I joined them, I can't really remember it at all. It's not my memory, but it's what other people remember and tell me. Chucked bottles, apparently. Was it I chucked the empty whiskey bottle into a...
Something like it didn't smash, but it did make a very upsetting noise.
Yeah.
So,
I think it was like early December, but I kept shouting Happy New Year to people before Christmas even happened. My sense of time was down the fucking toilet. So I don't remember this at all. I got chatting to this random woman who had her bloke with her, and I'm told I was being fairly smooth for me.
yes, you
Can
were.
you elaborate? Because,
Yes. I don't know, like, I've never seen you talk so openly and sort of suavely to someone. Say, oh, you've got lovely hair. What are you doing for Christmas? Blah, blah, and you're just... And her boyfriend was just
Cringe.
like... He was giving you, like, the evils. And I thought it was hilarious, actually. I wasn't even trying to stop him.
Yeah, so that was that. Later on, back to the barn. At some point, the people there had to tie me up because I think I was doing like karate kicks in a very poorly coordinated way. I think I fell flat on my face, got a fat lip, a busted nose. I may have knocked myself out, just passed out in the middle of the barn there. So Tom and his friends probably had enough of this idiot and thought, we just got to tie him up.
For his own safety.
Yeah. So I woke up, tied up. I think they tied up my arms and possibly my legs together. So I think my trousers started to fall down. So I was like hopping over to some broken glass from a bottle that I chucked earlier on. I think I managed to kind of get some broken glass and managed to kind of free myself.
Like, just like in the film.
Kind of a bit. Then I carried on hopping over to the table of booze. With my trousers still down a bit. I helped myself to more booze and just kept going on.
Man, you're a trooper.
So-
Not even being tied to a chair can stop this man from his fun times.
I think to this day, still the most drunk I've been.
Ever.
Yeah,
That's
very possible.
It's because you kept going. Like, that's not the most drunk you've been, but it's the longest
Yeah,
you've
it's
been.
end of school. End of the school year.
Yeah,
Christmas,
absolutely.
everyone's in a very jovial mood.
Apparently so.
I may have taken it too far, but like I said, I've got no shame and no embarrassment.
So, unfortunately, I'm going to take my story the other way. It's not as funny as yours, and I wasn't as drunk. I find myself stranded at Homelands again, although this would be the first time because when me and Ross got stranded, that was actually later in the year. Basically, Jerem and I got stranded after being stood up by a certain roasted nut of a person, let's say. Then we got led astray by someone who you might know, Ian. Yeah.
Oh yeah, from Woodchurch.
Yes, indeed. He led us astray and said he knew somewhere that we could crash, and the person rejected us from their home before I even got up to the door. So we ended up sleeping in a hedge in a park. I woke up thinking that they had abandoned me. They hadn't. So we carried on our journey, and then, much to our surprise, even though there were three of us at this point, a car stopped. Now this was at 6:30, 7 a.m. and Ian was just like, oh, I know these guys, let's jump in. And we were like, we're tired, we might as well. That was not a good idea. These guys either were still on drugs or they were coming down off the drugs. And this guy was driving quite slowly, and then this passenger was like, no, get over, I've got a shortcut. This other guy was a lot more energetic, a lot more dangerous. He started driving crazy, just like, it was only a tiny little car, but he was giving it his all and like going really close to the edges of, he was driving like a rally car basically, even though it was a 1.1 Fiat Uno or something. And we were getting a little bit sort of like, shit, oh, fucking hell, this is a bit scary. And then we actually got to Appledore, and then this guy started driving at parked cars and then veering out the way at the last second, driving at, and then he turned around and was like, we want your money. They're basically trying to mug us. And it was like, oh shit, we can't do anything. We're stuck in the back seat. These lunatics are driving. The guy in the passenger seat got so riled up, he tore a bit of the car off and threw it out the window. I think it was like the sun shield or something like that.
Of car.
Anyway, these guys were getting more and more sort of angry. It was like, that's it, get the knife. And I was like, oh shit. But he, out of the glove compartment, he got a butter knife out, like just a little blunt butter knife, and was like thrusting it in my direction. I don't know, trying to threaten me. And he got me on the arm actually, and it cut me, but not badly, like grazed me at worst. And I was just like, what the fuck? And then he was like, right, get the gun. And we were like, they don't have a gun. This is bullshit. They're just trying to scare us. Ian didn't seem bothered, but both of us just shouted, let's the fuck out, let's the fuck out. And then they were going through my bag, my rucksack. Now, I used to have all kind of random shit in my rucksack, nothing of value per se. I had a fork with a bit of string tied around it. There's various bike tools like a kazoo, several pens, some cheese stickers from work and things like that. And they pulled these things out and they got annoyed because I had a rational explanation for every single one of them. And they finally pulled out some shot glasses that I just bought. And then they kicked us out the car and then threw my shot glasses on the floor, smashing them, which I was like, oh, fucking hell, come on. Not once did they ask to see my wallet, which had £40 in it. At any point did they ask that.
Fucking moron.
We still have a massive journey ahead of us. I won't get into that, but basically, the long story short is, do not trust chavs. Do not get in their cars. Fucking no. Anyway, that was my story. Shall we have another shot?
I can feel it in my stomach, just sitting there. Oh, God, salty.
Mostly these are just salty.
It's like the salt is dominating both the spice and the alcohol. I can't even taste the vodka at all.
So, in this spicy memories, so far we've just talked about what the kids call spicy memories, which is kind of things that you remember because they're sort of traumatic in some way. But this is actually a spicy memory, in as much as I ate something and it was hot. Now, other than the time I was like 16, 17, where I hit a whole green pepper and trying to show off in front of my brothers, and I had to lay in the bathroom in the dark for about 20 minutes panting, there was the time, Christmas 2015, where there was this chocolate called Instant RegRett, which is 6 million Scovilles. I ate 2 blocks of it on camera for a vlog. The battery died before I did that, and then I felt obligated to do it again. Suffice it to say, I was violently sick off camera, and my tongue like swelled up and I couldn't speak
properly.
Talk. It was just mental.
Merry Christmas! You sound like a deformed circus freak having a meltdown.
Yeah, so that was my actual spicy memory. What about you?
Well, this is a coincidence, because my spicy memory takes place in the same month as yours. December 2015. If you're familiar with our ramblings, you know all about chegs. December 2015, we've been doing chegs for what, 7-8 months, and thought, well, Christmas time, let's make it a special one. Was that the same instance that we put brandy in it? It might have been that same night.
Yeah, it evaporated and we couldn't taste it.
Yeah, so we just thought, well, let's see. At that time, we were quite new to sriracha, which these days to us is kind of nothing. It's a nice flavour, but it's not hot anymore. But back then, it was still newish to us.
But this was the super hot variety, if you remember. I got
True,
the super
it was
hot.
actually the most super hot variety.
Yeah.
Well, sriracha, we put in normally, what, a fraction of a bottle each week? This week, we just thought, what, a third of a bottle, was it?
It was.
We just kept
fair.
squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. Giggity. The meal was totally sriracha saturated.
Saturated.
It was really nice, really, really hot, obviously. Every mouthful was hard to eat from beginning to end.
Yeah, it was. It was like, take a break, have some drink, take a break.
We're watching the best Christmas movie in existence. I don't even need to mention what the film is, because you all know what to do.
Jingle All the Way. It's Jingle All the Way, isn't it?
Yeah. Put the cookie down!
No! Anyway.
We ate the food successfully.
Successfully!
It was fantastic. Well, we didn't throw up, did we, on that evening?
Yeah, great success.
The food stayed down.
Good nutritional success.
Very filling and tasty. I just got a bit delirious, I think. I just wandered over to the laundry basket and just lay down and stuck my head in it. Just lay there for a while to cool off. In a sort of state of floppy, spicy fugueness.
It was kind of like you had just mentally checked out.
I got the delusional laughs and the giggles and just didn't know what to do with myself, so I'm just going to lie down and stick my head in something.
I've got a laundry basket if the final round goes a bit wonky.
Right.
Speaking of which, this is an interesting colour. It's like carrot juice, but if carrot
It's
juice...
almost like an actual drink.
Don't say that. Oh, it's quite smoky. That was actually the nicest one. You can hear the chili in my voice now.
It was the least salty and the least globby.
Yeah, I can hear the chili in your voice too.
Yeah.
So now we get to round 5.
Is that too spicy for you? I can see through time.
Which is, as you may guess, one of the oldest spicy memories we can conjure up. Ross, please regale me with this wonderful spicy memory of time.
Okay.
Goodness.
This goes back to when I lived in Woodchurch. I'm not sure. My age would have been in the single digit, so 8 years old perhaps. In year 2 of Woodchurch Primary School, the teacher was a notoriously strict Mrs. Hill. He just had a reputation for just being no fun, no nonsense, just a miserable fucking harridan. That's no excuse for what I do, by the way. I'm not trying to justify it. What I did is pretty bad, to be honest. You remember Sean Castle, yeah?
Heifer my bowl game.
It was kind of me, Sean Castle, and Jonathan Ellis. We would all be bad influences on each other, for the most part. Jonathan was the worst, but in this case it was just me and Sean only. And Sean was kind of a meek, bullied sort, follower, not a leader.
Alright, okay.
Which makes me think, well, the thing that we did, I am the one who spearheaded it. I'm the responsible one. I could have dragged him into it. So what me and Sean did, right, it was lunchtime, broad daylight, of course. It's not like we're under cover of darkness or anything. It was very obvious what we were doing. I decided, right, that's Mrs. Hill's car. Let's vandalise it and get some stones and scratch it.
Oh.
So we just grabbed these stones and scratched all over the doors, the bonnet. Sure enough, we got caught because it was broad daylight and it was lunchtime. There were loads of people out there. Got in fucking loads of trouble. Our parents were called in and to pay towards the cost of repairs. Yeah, that was back when my dad was still living with us. So he got dragged into it. I'm sure Sean got an equal amount of bollocking. It's not really funny or embarrassing, but it's one of the worst things that I did. It wasn't really justified. I mean, a teacher can be strict. There's no real reason to just cause them hundreds of pounds of damage.
Ross, you should have poisoned them.
Something a bit more subtle that can't be traced back to me so fucking easily.
But you were
no,
like
let's scratch their car in front of loads of fucking witnesses.
Do you know, you were acting on impulse and you were 8 or 9 or whatever.
And I dragged someone into it as well.
Drag someone into it. Well,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Go from scratching cars to something on a personal level was probably quite traumatic for me as well. I was about 5 years old, so it would have been 1991. I didn't really have that many mates, apart from the guy who'd become my brother eventually. So I used to just walk around Witcham by myself and walk around a really nice hot day, summer, and I saw a Panda Pops. You know the Panda Pops? Delicious fizzy drink. One of those was on the floor. It hadn't been opened. Some kids were playing nearby, but to my 6-year-old, 5-year-old, however old it was, brain, they were far enough away to justify just picking it up and undoing the lid and having a nice cool sip. I won't mind if I have a nice cool sip. I didn't. I was glugging it for a while because I didn't notice one of them come over and just squeeze it, and so it splashed all over my face. And I was about to start crying, but they were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just trying to grab it off you. Let me get you some more." So they took the bottle and they walked into their house, and I was just waiting for a few minutes. Oh yeah, I'm going to get some more refreshment. It'd be awesome. They come back out. You know, they've got what looks like orange juice in there, so they give that to me. And I tip it skyward, and then they start laughing. And as I take the first gulp, I realise what's happened. One of them has urinated in it. Someone has pissed in it, and I've drank their piss. I obviously I didn't throw it up. I kind of just went bleh, and started crying and ran home as they were laughing. That was pretty horrifying. One of the girls that was with them remembers it in a different way, but I know that their memory is wrong, where they said, "Oh, you finished it all," and said, "Can I have some more?" I was like, "No, I wouldn't say that because piss tastes disgusting. I know, I drank it." So I guess the lesson to learn from that is do not accept beverages of random people, especially when they are slightly suspicious in colour. And speaking of slightly suspicious in colour beverages, I am not looking forward to this. What has happened to this? This looks like cotton wool.
Looks like a mashed alien embryo. Yeah.
It's fucking gross. Chin Chen. Mm. I would say that was the mildest one. I think we went. The middle one was like smoky. That one was quite disgusting.
The fourth one was smoky. The first one seems to be the saltiest, to my taste.
It wasn't. None of those were like super spicy. So anyway, do you think it's over? Do you think that was enough?
We're definitely done. We're definitely finished. No more bonus nonsense. We don't do that.
I'll just clear all this away.
When we say we're done, we're done.
Yeah. We're not one of those.
Bye. See ya.
Yeah, I'm not one of those YouTubers that just pulls out.
Oh, for fuck's sake! He's
incredibly
done
hot
it again.
Incredibly hot sauce. Now,
this is a surprise to me. I didn't know we were doing this.
Ross, your acting skills are second.
Unless I'm trying to pee in your letterbox, then they're really good.
Now this is Blair's Ultra Death Sauce. I've had about this much of this left in here for a while, so I've mixed it with vodka. And this is going to be our final round. There's quite a lot of it. I don't know if we should do it all. Yep, we're going to do it all. Oh, Ross, I'm so sorry. This might make us vomit. Right, now, in the spirit of spicy memories, I thought that we would create some new memories today on this show. This may go down in history. We may be talking about this when we're 60. This is no joke, this sauce. Cut to me and Ziggy screaming. Ross, I love you, and I'm sorry.
You bastard. God.
Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck!
Oh, God.
Oh,
Like that. Oh, I need some fucking water at last.
don't walk off camera, what are you doing? Ross has just straight up quit.
Just walk.
Oh, God, I think I'm going to be sick.
You dribbling.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, God, I'm hiccupping. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, it was just a terrible idea. Oh, fuck it, I was it.
That was no fucking joke.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God, I do an outro. So, oh, God, I can't even speak. But that's it.
Join us next time where we never fucking do this again.
How's it in my eyes? Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
As for, I can't. Oh, God. Oh, God, I don't feel very well. Oh, God.
Fucking hell, mate.
Oh,
God, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna be sick. Oh, I don't feel well. Oh, God, are you right? I can feel the chili in my ears. Oh, man. This is a PSA, a cautionary tale. Don't do what we did. As I vomited, my sinuses got blocked, including my ears. So I had spice in my ears for a brief moment. I don't recommend it. This is what suffering for your art looks like. This is like the bonus content for sometimes fans. Ross, I've got an actual ice pack. There you go.
Fucking did it. Wouldn't do that again.
Nope.
After the bonus round was worse than the first 6 rounds combined.
Yeah, plus and then some. I think that was worse than the hot chip challenge, and
Significantly, much worse than that.
I would say maybe you should try that at least once in your life, but only once and never again. I kind of feel like reborn, like I've gone through something horrible, but I survived. And I don't know about Ross. He doesn't look well. He'll be fine. He's been through worse, I think. I actually don't know. I think that's probably the worst spicy thing he's ever had. I've drooled all down me, like, involuntarily. My nose feels like I've been breathing hot coals. My stomach is actually swollen. Do not recommend, but I do not recommend. Because I feel that everyone must do this at least once in their life. Once in their life, but never again.
Finally feel a bit better. I'm
Yeah.
fairly seasoned in terms of spiciness, but that kicked my ass. I'll tell you that. The expression burn a hole in your stomach,
Yeah.
that really was. Burning a hole.
Let's try to keep in mind that your day very rarely consists of spicy things. And we've suffered so you don't have to. Thank you, and goodbye.